Tampa Bay's own Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. By day, our guest is a respected Tampa attorney. But every afternoon, he does this transformation. He turns into the rush hour talk show host on News Radio 970. He is funny. He is very irreverent. He says words you probably are not going to find in the dictionary. My guest today is Lionel. Welcome him to Eye On Tampa Bay.
Thank you. You know, I resent this Jekyll and Hyde, irreverent.
That's what you are.
People have this notion of talk radio being filthy, salacious, scabrous, sordid, dirty. But last night on your show, 5 o'clock, I heard something that shocked me, that there is such a thing in this country as a deadly orgasm. Now, I've been to bars and I've ordered sex on the beach and that sort of thing.
That was a mistake.
But what a way to go.
Can you imagine
that?
People didn't, they weren't trying to say that. It was just a
oh, no, I think
you say these things openly as if you have a perfect right to.
Hold back, Lionel. No.
Now, here's what people say about you. This man is very intelligent. He has an amazing vocabulary. You have knowledge about a lot of things all around the world, multiple topics. But you're obnoxious. You provoke people. You say things for shock value. And you offend people. That's what people say about you. What do you think about that?
Who are these people?
I don't know.
And where do they live?
Yesterday's audience. Some of the people in yesterday's audience. That's what they said about you.
Let me put it to you this way, with all due respect. I love your show, by the way.
Thank you.
When I can catch it, I do. Your freeze-dried dog show. Was that a great show? Come on. Was that a show? I mean, who wants to see Fluffy for the rest of their life, frozen, you know? Come, boy, come. I love that. But very frankly, Elise...
Thanks, John.
I'm kidding. I normally have another name I call people. But if I did the show your way, I would be fired within a week.
Because it doesn't provoke people as much as you do?
Because it's just a different format. I mean, there's sushi restaurants, there's steakhouses, there's this. Mine's a hash house, a diner. Yours is an elegant dining establishment.
So you don't mind if you make people bad as long as they listen?
The worst thing you can possibly say is, who? People get mad for a variety of reasons. For example, the flag burning issue.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
What do I think about it? I detest flag burning. Who in their right mind? Should I look at these people? What a motley crew. Ooh, oh. This looks like a lineup from some prison. No, but flag burning. I'm against flag burning. I don't want people to burn flags, but I'm against a constitutional amendment to prohibit that, as is the majority of the people pursuant to a poll. I believe in the First Amendment. And what I do is I get invariably some war veteran who said, I fought for that flag. And I always say, if you fought for a flag, you're an idiot. You fought for your country. There's a sign out there that says Kennedy Boulevard.
I think we're going to get some calls now.
There's a sign outside that says Kennedy Boulevard. That sign is not Kennedy Boulevard. It is a symbolic representation, an indication of where one is.
Well, let's talk about your double life for a minute. You're an attorney.
The cross-dressing?
As opposed to working your way up from the small radio markets and everything, you got into this business because you were a regular caller every day.
I went to, in 19, are you really interested in this?
I want to know. I want to know how only in America an attorney,
be honest with me,
an attorney can call in every day and be good enough to get his own show on the radio. I think that's pretty interesting.
What happened was, in 1980, where you from, boy? It sounds like I should have this bad background music in the background. In 1980, whilst attending, my only fan, whilst attending Stetson Law School, I spent as little time there as possible. I just don't like school and that sort of thing. So I would go home. And one day I was going to tell, but I found AM radio. I thought it was on FM. And that's our biggest, by the way, our biggest problem is to convert people to the notion that AM radio is in fact a viable frequency. They say, AM? Is that like shortwave, microwave, AM? Because what do you think of when you hear of AM? Or, una latina con música like me. You don't think of it. So I heard this talk show.
Back to the story.
So I heard this talk show, and they're talking about, I don't know what, some guy was talking about lightning surge protectors or something. So I called up, and I said, let me jazz this up. And I could do a variety of voices.
No.
Dialects. You gotta have a good ear. And I called this one guy up and started screaming at him. Just screaming at him for whatever. I blamed him for World War II or something.
And afterwards you probably thought,
and I said,
fun.
This is fun. So I did it again and again and again. And I needed a name. I needed some type of moniker, a nom de guerre, a sobriquet, something or other.
There you go with those big words again.
No,
Stop that.
No, they're English. You can look them up. They're in the dictionary. Anyway.
But why do you use such big words? You know, people, the average person doesn't talk like that.
The average person is adult. I hate to tell you. The average person.
It's very condescending and patronizing
not
sometimes
at all.
to use words like that you know people are not going to understand.
Exactly.
That's showing off.
No, it's not showing off. That's like I think you're patronizing and showing off by looking elegant today. You're outdressing most of these people. How dare you? Who do you think you are with your nice, fancy outfit on?
Okay, back to the story. We're going to get
the
the story.
All right.
How'd you get a job on the radio? Let's get
to make a long story short, the name the Gulfport attorney became my moniker, my whatever. And then they continued. And then I said, that's a stupid name. There's no ring to it. So I came up with the name Lionel from the movie Scarecrow, in which this character played by Al Pacino was Francis Lionel Del Bucchi. Well, that was just too long. So Lionel stuck. So one day I was at my office, and I got a call from our erstwhile PD, program director, whatever, Poobah, Pate, Bob Schumann, who says, how would you like to do? No, could you do a weekend show? And I said, yes, I can. On Sunday from 3 till 7 or something. Yes, I know I can. Well, we got to talk about pay. And to show you how naive, I thought I had to pay him.
Oh.
Because weekend shows normally are crap. Can we say that? I mean, they're just people who are selling things. They're attorneys. They're this, they're that. They're paying to be on. So I thought they wanted me to pay. Well, they paid me.
Seconds. Cut to the chase. How'd you get on? How'd you
ask
do?
me?
How do you like it?
I love it. They told me to do that. I went to 9 to noon, then drive time, 3 to 6:30 every day, Monday through Friday, and that's it. And that's it, all in a nutshell.
Do your clients know what you do in the afternoon?
Absolutely. My clients,
They
believe
do
me,
know?
the least of their worries are what I do in the afternoon. The least of their worries.
If you believe something strongly and a client came to you and asked you to represent them on an opposite side of the issue, would you take the case?
What do you mean?
I mean, if you really felt strongly about something and had publicly gone on the air expressing an opinion, and a client came to you and said, I want you to represent me on a case where you had to represent the other side, would you do it? Could you do it?
I think ethically, anytime an attorney doesn't believe in the cause of their client, they should decline. So if I've gone on the air and I've said I don't believe in something, I'm not going to take a case just to make the money. And everything I say I believe. I have never lied on the air once.
Whoa,
just to get a call.
Okay, I
Ever.
believe you. We'll take a break.
You
We'll be
have.
right back. We'll let them ask you.
Feel like going out for dinner? Then stop by Publix first and get a free pair of 3D fireworks glasses with a classic cruiser kids meal for just $2.49 at the deli. It comes with a hot dog, chips, a cookie, and a 16-ounce Coke. Or red, white, or black California seedless grapes, only 99 cents a pound. See you at Publix.
Every news team reports the news, but we work to make that news a little better. Frank Robertson and Kelly Ring on Eyewitness News at 6.
When you encourage your child to read, it's like giving her a magic key, one that opens a world of possibilities, of opportunity. Book It is a reading incentive program that encourages young people to read. Support your child's participation in his school's Book It program. And if your school is not enrolled in Book It, ask about it. For more information, call 1-800-4-BOOK-IT. Give your child the key that will open any door. Make reading important every day.
You've got a ticket to ride on the next runaway. Grenada is the spiciest island in the Caribbean. Splash out with Jackie Seaman, your guide to the good life on a rhythmic romp through paradise. Say olé to sizzling Spain. It's a one-of-a-kind journey with beautiful Michelle Phillips through the Spanish wine country. Lady Luck awaits in Lake Tahoe. Cash in on a Wild West adventure for a rich and rocky Mountain High. All on the next runaway.
Saturday night at 11:30.
You believe that a woman ended up in bed next to him nude and he didn't know how she got there?
Never argue with a woman. You'll never win.
If they've got two legs and walking, they will cheat.
You got it. I've been together almost 19 years now.
How? I'll never know.
Men don't get as jealous as women. Oh, am I going to get killed for that one?
Oh, boy! You heard it, America.
Turn to Oprah, weekdays at 4 on TVT 13.
Our guest today is radio talk show host Lionel, and Ron is on the phone from Tampa. Go ahead, Ron.
Hi, Lionel. Have you ever found a case where a judge or a jury who is perhaps familiar with your alter ego has perhaps taken you less seriously than you would like?
No.
Thanks, Lionel.
Doesn't that not interfere at any time with the practice that you do?
What, my alter ego?
Well, the way that you come across on the radio as perhaps sometimes less than serious. Or
are you suggesting that I practice law the way I could come across on the radio?
No, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying
then your question makes no sense.
Some people might perceive you as being less than serious.
If they know who I am.
Right.
So therefore your question makes no sense.
But you said some of your clients do know who you are. Do the judges know what you do?
Pardon me?
Do your judges know what you do? The judges you appear before?
Certainly.
And you don't think it has any bearing on the way they treat you?
No.
Okay. And you see no conflict with the two jobs. And I think that's what his question is. How can you do both?
Easy. Right now there are people in the world, lawyers who are professional people. Ellis Rubin, Jerry Spence, they go around town. F. Lee Bailey, that's what. And I'm not trying to put myself into that category. But just because you do something different doesn't mean that somehow the issues in court aren't going to work or that they're going to take me less seriously because of what I do in the afternoon. In fact, I think it helps.
You a single guy?
Am I single? Yes, I am.
You looking around?
Yes, I'm looking around.
It seems like
that lady in a yellow dress there.
Now, it seems like I've heard you on the radio talking about how you are sort of looking around, maybe a little bit interested. Well, since you mentioned her, since he mentioned you want to talk to this guy?
I would like to know, how does he find time for a private life?
Find time for a private life?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Very little. Private life is virtually non-existent, but I do find time, mostly on the weekends, evenings. It's tough. It's tough balancing both. It really is. There has to be a balance, obviously. From 3 to 6:30, you know where to find me. The law practice takes balancing as well, also. But private life, what's that?
You wanted to ask him something else, right?
Yes, I'd like to know what kind of attorney is he.
Yeah, what kind of cases do you handle?
Damn good one. Trial practice. I love criminal defense. I love plaintiff's personal injury cases in good ones, not my neck, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do a lot of work, believe it or not, with dependencies involving HRS, where HRS takes children away from their parents, and involved very, very often in those types of cases, which are very sad. And that's why, which may explain sometimes my contempt for HRS and the child protection process in Florida.
Well, here's an issue you also got pretty heavily involved in a few weeks back, the teabag bathing suits.
Oh, yes. That's the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard in my life.
Banning them, you mean?
Banning them. I wish I could live in Sarasota. Do you know what it is to live in an area that has absolutely nothing better to do than to worry about some woman deciding to walk around with her buttocks hanging out? Now, let's get down to business. I can see that as being offensive to some people. And maybe there should be a line of demarcation. Maybe there should be an area where people can be told, you be careful, warning, buttocks in view. Be careful, God forbid. But the thing that scares me the most in the 90s is there's no tolerance. Do you realize that our governor spent time worrying about 2 live crew? Do you realize that? Do you realize that we're talking about the Mapplethorpe exhibit that a museum director in Cincinnati is on trial right now for misdemeanor charges because 7 out of 168 photographs were deemed obscene? What is with the 90s? We're being puritanical, provincial. There's no tolerance anymore. What if I found your dress obscene? We're not worried about the real issues anymore, and that's what bothers me. Flag burning.
Yeah, but do you have to use such anatomically correct words on the air that sort of offend people?
Would you
sometimes?
like fanny? I mean, you're talking about deadly orgasms, and I say buttocks? That's the way. I don't get it. That's
okay. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. But first, I'm going to tell you about an upcoming show. It has nothing to do with any of this, thank goodness. Do you ever get stopped on the street because people think that you look like somebody famous? What do you do? What do you say? What do you tell them? Give them an autograph? Tell them the truth? We're going to meet celebrity lookalikes in July. If you'd like to be on our show or in our studio audience, our tickets are free. 870-9650 is the number to call, and we'll be right back.
After 20 years with Eckerd, I decided to call it quits and take life easy. Worked in my yard and took care of my orchids. And just came to realize I missed it.
Eckerd Pharmacist, Roy Williams, retired and returned.
I missed the people at work, missed the customers, and just being a part of it.
And when you come down and hit that...
So, here I am again. What's that old saying? It's better the second time around?
See you, Roy.
No, no.
It's good to be back.
In each of our lives, we'll face a variety of challenges. In a large part, your future depends on you and how you plan for it. On July 2nd, Eyewitness News will begin a month-long effort. At noon, 5, 6, and 11. We'll give you important tips, tests, and plans for success. Health, wealth, love, and work. It's all part of life planning for the 90s. Exclusively on Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
Experts on call.
By simply using the phone, Channel 13 Eyewitness News helps to solve your problems.
Expert on call.
Our exclusive expert on call has served more than 7,000 viewers in just 7 months. People have received advice on everything from consumer problems and taxes to concerns about crime, education, and health. Watch for our next expert on call, exclusively on Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
The next Byron Allen show's in a family way.
And why do they call it early pregnancy testing? If she's pregnant, it's too late.
With the queen of comedy, Joan Rivers.
She took off her bra the other night and she killed 2 midgets. And that's
From the motion picture Glory, Denzel Washington. Baywatch hunk David Hasselhoff. And the latest from Jermaine Jackson. All on the next Byron Allen show.
Saturday night at midnight on TVT 13.
A friendly chat with Lionel today. And Martin is on the phone from St. Pete. Go ahead, Martin.
Hi there. I was wondering what Lionel thinks about call screening on talk shows. Some things, like yours, don't seem to be able to get by without it. Does he do that?
Well, now, wait a minute. First of all, we screen to make sure that you have a legitimate question, but we don't have a delay. How do you screen your calls?
You just told people you don't have a delay? Bad move, Kathy.
That's why we have screening, Lionel.
No, but what if somebody were to say anal cleft or something in the middle of the show? No, everything I'm saying is from the Sarasota legislature. I'm not trying to be purposefully dirty. I'm telling you language that exists in legislatures.
Okay, but he's asking about screening your calls. How do you feel about that?
Screening in terms of what? You mean the subject matter?
The people who call in on your show. Do you ever get bad callers, people you don't like?
Are you kidding? I get people, number one, we get all kinds of people. First of all, most people are afraid to call. Or they're afraid. It's scary to them. Do you know what the number one human learned fear is? Learned fear is speaking in public. And people are terrified. And all of this is talking on the phone, so we tend to get a bunch of regulars. And we've got to do our best to make sure these people don't become our sole source of calls. But sometimes we'll get people who will say, I'd like to ask him whether he thinks Niels Bohr's theory on quantum mechanics made sense. And the producer says, wow, that's intelligent. Just 1 second. Then for some reason, 10 seconds later, they get on the air, and you hear, I just want to know who the hell he did that, and we don't know what happens. And I look at the producer and saying, did you ask this person a question? He says, that's not what he told me. But we get people who, this is my favorite call. What are you talking about today?
And that's why you have screening to our caller, Martin, who just called. Well, let me ask you something. How do you really feel about, sometimes people get the impression you don't have a lot of respect for the people who call you up. How do you really feel about your audience out there?
Honest to God?
Honest to God.
If I could get on my hands and knees and kiss their feet for listening or calling, I would do that. We could not exist without them. You could.
No, I don't know.
You don't need immediate impact. You don't need, I mean, let's face it, you can do your show now, but you don't need immediate people calling right this second, right this minute.
You ever called in?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, what do you want to ask Lionel?
Lionel, you took a lot of flack a while ago about being too frivolous on your show. Do you ever let people tell you how to run your own show?
No, I take suggestions from people who've been in radio for a long time, some very technical things that I never realized. There's one thing, for example, in radio that you don't want to hear, and that's dead air. Dead air is a microsecond of... They go crazy with that. Sometimes I do that. When I first started, I would think about the question. I would say, and they would say, stop doing that. I said, stop doing what? Stop thinking. Stop thinking. So I'm never told that I cannot do a subject. Never. Number one, I can take any position I want. I'm told some technical advice, but I'm never given any direction as far as what I can and cannot say. We are limited, obviously, in terms of some words we can't use, but I get around that by either saying them in Spanish or Italian, which nobody seems to really care about one way or the other.
Listen, I know you hate this, and I know that I hate to do it to you, but we have to break. You don't like breaks, do you? We have to break. We'll be right back.
Do you suffer from heartburn and acid-associated symptoms often? Are these antacids part of your daily diet? Well, if you're one of millions of people who suffer from heartburn and stomach acid, you may be eligible for a research study on a new treatment for the following symptoms. Qualified patients will receive a free evaluation of their condition, lab tests, plus compensation for time and travel. If you take antacids weekly and have not been diagnosed with an ulcer, please call 1-800-666-7777.
Be better prepared for the day ahead with Rick Lockridge and Liz Brunner. Weekdays from 6 to 7 a.m. on Eyewitness News this morning.
Limousine service for guests of Eye On Tampa Bay provided by Fancy Nancy's Limousines, Tampa Bay's first-class limousine service.
America's Quick Draw Game is taking off with host Rob Weller.
This is the realization of my dream.
It's fun, so grab a pen and play along.
Join in like never before.
With all the fabulous fast-paced excitement from TV's hottest game show. So come on, get into the picture.
I'd say you guys are fired up.
With a daily grand prize that leads our champions down the road to riches.
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
On win, lose, or draw.
Weekdays at 10 on TVT 13.
This scene may come closer to home if we don't do something now. Watch the E-Team Environmental Reports with Lloyd Sowers and Paul Delegato. Wednesdays on Eyewitness News.
George from Clearwater wants to talk to Lionel. Go ahead, George.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. I want to say something what I think about radio talk show hosts that are insulting like Lionel. First of all, they're phony, pusillanimous opportunists. By that I mean...
Don't hold back. Don't ride the fence.
Oh, okay.
Don't sugarcoat it. Let's have it. Come on.
That's the way you run your program, just like you are now, not giving me an opportunity to explain myself.
Okay,
what I mean by that is he does shock treatment. He makes nasty statements. He insults people, and this brings an arousal from the result. He's like the crew, you know, and these women that don't dress or dress semi-dress like Cher become famous. They use it.
Call screening?
I can see him making motions, but I know what he's saying.
Okay, we understand your point.
You're
your
a
response
sir.
to that.
You should be euthanized. Thank you.
Comment in the audience.
Lionel, it's in the form of a comment on the flag burning.
Mm-hmm.
When you say that you always get a call from a veteran who says, I fought for that flag. Well, I'll say in Brooklynese, maybe he's inarticulate, but he fought for what that flag stands for, not that piece of cloth.
Absolutely.
But what we love and what it stands for.
Absolutely.
That's what he fought for.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't make fun of him if he doesn't know how to say it in that fashion.
No.
He didn't fight for the hunk of rag.
Therefore, there should be no amendment for the hunk of rag.
I'm not arguing that point.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Put him down.
Okay, we understand your point. But I think that's the whole point in talk show hosts is that my question is, do you provoke for provoking sake? And he says that's why people listen. Right?
But you see, this is what we get all the time. If somebody told you something 1,000 times, after a while you wonder, is this a script they're passing around? Do they all talk like this? Where did they get this phraseology from? And I respect your right to say it, and I like your comments, and I like your shades, too.
When screening calls, do they have the right to ask for the caller's phone number? Do you think they should?
Do they have the right?
Or rather, do you think it is necessary for them to ask for a caller's phone number?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't give them my phone number. In fact, what I do is I give a phony number. The whole idea is privacy and anonymity. Have we ever asked you for your phone number?
Okay, we got very little time left. A quick comment.
One question. I've known you since high school at Jesuit. Why do you hide behind Lionel? Why don't you just come out as the sarcastic boob I knew you 15 years ago?
For a couple of reasons. Number one, somebody may view my show as a lawyer solicitation show, which I hate. Number two, I don't want to be deluged and bothered by people who want to ask me questions about flag burning, and I'm trying to work. And number three, if Cher can go by Cher, and Tiffany and Liberace and all these other people can, why can't
We're out of time. Thanks.
Every year, thousands of people are killed with a frying pan. Reduce your intake of high-fat fried foods and help reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease. For a free booklet on low-fat eating, call 1-800-EAT-LEAN.
And now, your hosts for the next 60 minutes of action, Herman and Sharon Bailey.
All right, I love you. All right, that means I love you double. I love you.
I love you too.
You look pretty.
Thanks. Unusual, right?
No, I don't